Ladies and gentlemen, now it's too late with Alan Mosley.
Guys, welcome back for another episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley, joined as always by the number one producer in late night. It's Sherry Voluntary. Sherry, how are you doing?
I'm great, thanks.
So the other day, I told some people that, look, I think they ought to take everybody like Don Lemon and just hang them from the nearest branch. And by people like Don Lemon, I meant journalists, of course. Not that racist stuff you were thinking just now.
Right.
But yes, you, Sherry.
Me.
You, yes. You know what this week was?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was the commemoration of a certain host's certain day.
It was St. Alan's Day this week. The birthday of the official host of It's Too Late, Alan. Do we have a picture of Alan Mosley? Yeah, there he is, right there.
Aww.
I like to trot that out once a year just to show people that I've been hiding from the feds ever since 1988.
It's okay. You know what's funny though?
What?
Not only that you're blonde, which is, a lot of people are blonde, but your hair is straight. That's weird.
Yeah. Every day that I've been alive, my hair, eyes, and character have gotten darker. Pretty soon it'll just black.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Because what it is black is the absence of color. So it isn't really that it's
Right.
It's darker. It's just void. That's what it is.
Staring into the void.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I thought this week would be a good week to tell a little anecdote that I've been meaning to for a while. So the third weekend of October next month, which God, that's like so soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going down to Orlando for the Tom Woods 2000th episode.
Yeah.
And we went to the 1000th episode back in 2017, but we didn't even know each other then.
Right. It was after that.
We were there. So actually I was there with a lot of people who today I consider to be good friends and, cannon fodder. But then I didn't know them. And so when I went down in 2017, it was right around my birthday. And I had a birthday card from the official fiance of It's Too Late, Anna Kay. And go ahead and show people the birthday card. I got all the guests at the show that year to sign my card. And so you've got Michael Malice and Dave Smith and Tom Woods and Dilzo and you got Eric July down there in the corner. And so all those people have endorsed. I've got the card right here, folks. You can see the front. They've all endorsed me being born. There it is right there.
You know what I noticed?
What?
The two brown people are on the same side of the card and all the white people are on the other side of the card. Just saying.
Jesus. Of course you would notice that because we just were addressing your abject racism. Bigotry not like 2 minutes ago.
Right. That's true.
Swear to God.
We were discussing that.
I tell you what, I did have a good birthday though, because my birthday fell on Monday this year and Monday Night Football was on and the Cowboys were playing. People who know me know I'm a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys were playing the Eagles and the Cowboys absolutely demolished the Eagles on Monday night. I actually kind of thought the Cowboys would lose. And so I was sort of like trying to avoid the game, but it was on where we were eating dinner at and they won. And that was great news. And so this morning when I got up, I decided I was going to say something about that. I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to tweet out, hey, the Cowboys won. What a great, happy birthday to me.
Right.
It didn't, Sherry.
Oh boy.
It probably didn't take 5 minutes for somebody to tweet something along the lines of, well, but what does that have to do with liberty?
God forbid you have a life.
And so, you know what I did, don't you?
I can only imagine.
Blocked. That's what you do.
The big B.
Yeah, for the little D's. That's what you got to do. I swear to God. Like it never ceases to amaze me that like, okay, so you don't like, even if you don't like football, like, okay, you don't like football.
Right.
Like, surely, like, don't you ever want to grab these people through your monitor and say, like, come on, is there not anything that you like?
Right. All the time. Like, yeah, I mean, nobody does that to me when I post pictures of my granny or something, Yeah. Like, what does that have to do with liberty? I'm a person and so are you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, if I see you post pictures of your granny, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I
What
bet,
does this have to do with Liberty?
I bet she's a Trumper. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, she's like Biden. She has dementia.
Oh, well, then it's even worse. She doesn't even remember how she voted. She just
Right.
voted however the DNC told her she did. That's what happened.
Uh,
But to turn things around, enough of my birthday. I turned the big 2-5, and actually before the
my
show
son.
started, you said to me, "Hey, did you turn 35?" And I said, "No, 36." And then what did you
Yeah.
do?
I, I laughed.
No, no. What did you do? What was your reaction?
I think I kind of went, oh.
You were like, "Whew, getting up
Yeah, oh yeah.
there."
Ooh, that's right. I did. I was like,
Yeah.
yikes,
I
that's
like how
old.
I'm talking about having
I totally
dementia.
forget.
I'm telling you
I,
what you did five
I know.
minutes ago.
I
Yeah.
have dementia as well. Yes.
You and Granny are going to be
Yeah.
together. both voting for Kamala here in a few years. Um, but anyway, enough of that. I tell you what, Sherry, you know
Mm-hmm.
what this program needs?
More. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Wait,
What does it
no,
need,
no,
Alan?
actually, no. Go ahead. What does this program need? I'm curious.
I was gonna say more Jews.
No, definitely have too many of those. So the thing is that this program needs more recurring weekly segments. And
Yeah.
I was inspired by stopantisemitism.org. Take a look at this right here. Stopantisemitism.org. Why is Representative Thomas Massey our anti-Semite of the week? We
Jeez.
got to have an anti-Semite of the week. Only
Right.
R to vote against Iron Defense Dome funding. Only R to vote against labeling BDS as anti-Semitic. Voted against Holocaust education. Trivializes Holocaust with vile COVID comparisons. Jew hater.
There could be no other reason whatsoever that he
Jew
voted against these things.
Jew hater. Yes.
That picture is great. That's like, it's awesome.
I tell you, like I shared that and I said, man, what an odd endorsement of hating Jews. Like, it's amazing. It it goes to show, like, it's beautiful though in a way, because for people out there who, like, they still think, now let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Mhm.
We've got to figure out a way to bridge the divide and work together.
Ugh.
That right there tells you there is no chance of that.
Yeah.
There's no chance of that whatsoever. Um, feels like it's going to be a little bit of a short monologue.
Yeah.
You say something.
Me.
Yeah,
I fully feel like we need more diversity on this show.
we've
I
already.
feel like you should I feel like you should do the full Star Wars thing and just allow me to run this show into the ground.
I thought that that's basically what you've been doing since January, but
Thanks.
whatever happened to that guy that got goats? Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, he got that goat AIDS.
Yeah.
He gone.
Well, the animals are getting the Rona now, so I wonder if his goats.
Oh, got goat Rona.
Yeah.
Are they really getting Rona now?
They've said they've tested, like, deer and ferrets and stuff like that, and said that they have.
Deer and ferrets hanging
Yeah.
out with people.
Yeah, those two in particular, not anything else, just deer and ferrets. Yeah.
Honey badgers don't get it though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good then.
All right.
We'd better take a commercial break before you say anything else anti-Semitic. Guys, we're going to be back with the meme of the week and the viewer mail right after this break. Don't go away. So first, they came for the white supremacists, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want my cover to be blown.
Right.
Then they came for the Nazis. After white supremacists, it was Nazis, which
No.
of course is really the ironic one because the people trying to get the Nazis are the most fascistic people.
Yes.
But
Correct.
then it was anti-vaxxers. If you in any
Mhm.
way disagree with the narrative, you're anti-vax.
Right.
You want smallpox. You want it.
Anti-science.
And now today, you're an anti-Semite if you disagree with the narrative.
Just today, though.
And then my podcast had no more listeners because all the libertarians were gone.
They got
Yeah.
us all, Alan.
I forgot to say, to talk about, we needed another 30 seconds in the monologue, which you totally failed to provide. I did forget one
I'm
thing.
sorry.
I had this awesome little musing on my birthday. You want me to share it with you?
Sure.
Thanks. Jesus. It's a delay, guys. Hand to God, it's the delay. So this is the thing. There's a lot of people around the liberty community that I really like.
A lot.
Okay, some. But there's also some that I dislike. But
Mm-hmm.
there's some that I like that dislike one another.
Right.
Got that drama in there.
Yeah.
But it occurred to me on my birthday, of all days, that if there's one consolation, is we're all going to die.
Well,
So I bet that paints your I
right.
bet that changes things for you, doesn't it?
That's a little dark. A little dark.
Like my hair in my eyes.
Yeah, your soul.
Yes. Hey Sherry,
Yes.
what time is it?
Meme of the week.
Government and big pharma. Don't be afraid. I love you.
Oh,
Have you
little
ever seen the movie
Kathy.
Misery?
I did. I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Kathy Bates and
Yeah.
James Caan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, it was good. That's one of my favorite movies.
It's
I
one of the scariest movies.
I think that if they did a remake of, because they remake everything. I think if
Mhm.
they did a remake of Misery, you could play that role.
Really, me?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love you.
We should
Don't.
have had you with a little gun and a syringe
Yeah,
or a
that'd be awesome.
sledgehammer, depending on what part of the movie you're in.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I know, right? Ooh,
I'll never forget that. Yeah, that's rough. That's
yeah.
rough.
Let's say. Oh wait, hold on. No, we got a bonus meme. Check out the bonus meme. Yeah, I'm a
Oh,
conservative. So if Joe Biden wants my son to die for Israel, that's none of your damn business.
oh, oh. This might just be my new favorite meme.
That would be so much funnier if that didn't happen. Like if that wasn't
Oh,
actually,
literally, they
yeah,
are.
that
Yeah.
literally a thing happening. Let's answer some viewer mail.
Oh,
You're in for it now.
yeah. So dramatic.
I actually feel bad for people who watch the show after this segment. Tonight's show is going to be a little dark.
Uh, You have gone full Agent of Chaos today.
I've chosen violence today.
Yes.
Earlier in the week was my birthday. I took the time off. I shut everything down, paid
Right.
no attention to the world or politics. Just tried to enjoy the moment, and that moment passed.
It has passed.
Yes. So anyway, Andrew Avery writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, if a group of women ask you about John Deacon's skills as a bass player, would you say Queen had a fat bottom, girls?" So Andrew
No.
is trying to be funny, but I'm going to call
Mm.
him out on this one. He
Yeah.
spelled fat, Phat, but
And
but
Andrew.
Fat Bottom Girls, which is pronounced FAT, the song,
Yes.
predates, I feel, like the era of the word
Yeah.
fat, PHAT. And so
Yes, it does.
so Andrew, who's a boomer,
Mm-hmm.
actually was too zoomer in this particular pun. He
How,
betrayed,
how
like,
dare
he's
you?
not you, Andrew, just be yourself. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Just be
Go full
yourself.
boomer.
Just be yourself. He should join the Boomer Report, I think. He could be their correspondent.
Oh, Lord.
I would tune into that. Um Logan Denny writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, do either of you like metal?" Uh yeah, I like metal. My car's built with a bunch of it.
Right.
Um like there's some like this is too. So,
Gold is metal.
yeah, I used to have a whole show dedicated to that.
Yeah. That's true.
That's that's what all 94 episodes were about.
Yeah. Metal.
Yeah. Um no. I really don't.
I do.
You do?
I I I love metal. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I do.
You know, somebody sent me a meme the other day and it said, "I know that you'll be able to appreciate this." And it had like a metal guitarist and it had like a jazz musician and under the metal guitarist it said a rocker plays 3 chords for 3,000 people and a jazz musician plays 3,000 chords for 3 people. And I said, "Why do you think I would appreciate that? I don't appreciate that at all. I'm actually upset."
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah. Our our audience, that's what they do. They send things to me to
Right.
make me angry because I think that that's what they like more on this show.
Yeah, they like Angry Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um all right, we're going to skip down cuz boy, just by the way, viewer mail was kind of rough this week. It's just,
No,
I took time off for my birthday and I come back and it's just chaos.
chaos.
It's just
Yeah.
Jesus. Um all right. Jonathan Carranza writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, do you prefer hunting or fishing?" Sherry, do you
Hmm.
prefer hunting or fishing?
Well, I haven't been hunting in years, but I do like to fish occasionally. I even bait my own hook, so independent women.
Um, I was gonna say fishing just because it's just easier, lazier thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I could go for some hunting of the most dangerous game.
Oh,
Boy, that reference is gonna be a lot darker after another segment from now.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
I
just
read that essay. I know, or
yeah,
that short story. Yeah.
just wait. Clay Davis writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, what toy did you want the most as a kid but never got?"
Uh, would you like me to answer this?
Yeah, that's what. Who else am I talking to?
All of I didn't know when to go first. All of them. Like I was very poor, so I hardly ever got good toys. Let's just put it that way.
I
So
so I actually can't think of anything that I really wanted that I didn't get. But that's not because we were rich. It's because we were so poor. I didn't bother to hope.
right, we had no aspirations.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are for them rich kids.
I should have left that out. I should have just said I got everything I wanted, and then people would think I was, you know. All right.
Oh,
Lyle Durio writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, do you dabble in electronics?" Sherry, do you dabble in electronics? After when you're done hunting and fishing, do you dabble in electronics, Sherry?
I push the buttons for this show. That's as much dabbling as I do, really.
Yeah, and not necessarily always at the right time or in the right order, but but you do push them.
Tech-hearted. Yes, I push all the buttons at once.
You know, the guy that we fired before you would always hit the buttons at the wrong time and in the wrong order too. And you
Yeah,
see what happened to him. He died
right,
of AIDS.
right.
So,
Go Danes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there was that old joke by, did you like Mitch Hedberg, the comedian Mitch Hedberg? The
Yeah, Yeah, I've since learned of him from you. I didn't know about him at the time, but yeah,
Dude,
he's
I
funny.
I loved Mitch Hedberg, and he had this one thing of talking about how he would get an AIDS test every now and then, and it was always terrible having to wait for the results. And so he
Right.
decided he wouldn't do that anymore. He would get a roundabout AIDS test. He'd call his friend Bob and say, "Hey Bob, do you know anybody that has AIDS?" No? Good, because you know me. So if
Okay.
I call you and ask you if you know anyone with AIDS,
Yeah.
now you know what.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, So I wouldn't really say I dabble in electronics, Lyle. I you see how I decided to deign to answer Lyle's question there as opposed to just move on.
Right.
We care about our fans here
That's
at the
true.
show. We do.
Mm.
Do I dabble in electronics? Yes, but you probably shouldn't hire me for that
Right.
unless it's going to be shocking how bad I am. Um, Rachel Watson Kinnerly writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, what is your favorite birthday memory?" Well, that's a very topical question right there.
Oh.
Sherry, what's your favorite birthday memory?
Oh. Um. I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot because of the dementia from you and Granny.
I don't
Um,
know. I'm getting old,
yeah,
Things my kids did for me, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. So it would be more recent birthdays then. That's what you're saying. Not
Probably.
like
I
little
don't
kid
know.
birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You're from Chattanooga. You might have had kids when you were still a little kid, so I don't know. But um, so my favorite birthday memory, um, God, I don't know.
Yeah,
Now,
that's a hard, like, off the cuff.
um, I'll just say that this year, me and Anna Kay went out to dinner, and I had a prime rib, and it was pretty good. And that is my that's my greatest birthday memory.
We're pathetic.
Look, if it's not we're pathetic, it's our lives are pathetic.
Oh, right. Oh, yes,
Yes,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you corrected me
I
on that.
mean, if
That's
you're one
true.
of these people that thinks everything is preordained, then this is really God's fault if you think about it.
Right. Oh,
Well, we're gonna move on. Um, Ryan Seifert writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, if you could bring back one discontinued fast food item, what would it be?"
oh, I know this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Crystal, yeah, if y'all don't know, that's a place in the South.
Yeah.
It's a hamburger place. They have like White Castle burgers. They had these burgers that you could get in sauce. Do you remember that? And they came in like the little foil packet. They had like a barbecue one. It was so good. And barbecue Doritos. Those were a thing for a while. They were amazing.
Um. Okay, so it's not really a fast food item, but back when like the whole pandemic thing first started, I was getting some cereal because I mean, you know us, we
Oh,
never have anything in the fridge or the pantry, and everyone on the news was
right.
saying we're all about to die because everyone's gonna starve. So I was like, well, I better go get some like chips and some nacho
Cereal.
cheese or something and some cereal. Um, as a side story to my side story, I was down in Florida one year with Anna Kay during a hurricane, and she was like, "Oh my god, we got to go to the grocery store before the hurricane hits." And what I
Uh-huh.
bought was one of those little Fritos cans of nacho cheese and a
Right.
bag of chips. That was it. That was
If we gonna die, we gonna enjoy it.
yeah. So anyway, I went to the store and they had banana nut Cheerios,
Right.
and these guys, banana nut Cheerios, made me believe in Jesus.
Right. The angels were singing.
Yeah. And so what that naturally means is you can't get it anymore.
Right.
Like, and it
No
makes me
more
wonder.
Jesus.
And I actually researched it online because I was trying to figure out like, is this just gone? Is my life just over now? And sure enough, they apparently had banana nut Cheerios back in like 2016, 2017 or something, or maybe before that, and they were a huge hit. And then they went away. It was a limited time
Right.
thing, and then they brought them back for a limited time, like at the end of 2019, started 2020, and then they went away again. And they were so popular, like a lot of times you couldn't even find them on the shelves when they were out
Uh-huh.
because they would all be gone. And that made me think, doesn't that seem like you should sell more of them then?
Right. It's kind of like they're just teasing you at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like half of the Cheerios fandom says we want banana nut, and their answer is you're gonna get honey nut and you're gonna like it. God damn it! Like I don't understand. They don't like money. So
Yeah.
Ryan, you've really brought up some painful memories. So I
Right.
shitty birthdays, no Cheerios. This is for Adam Sikosyn. This is supposed to be the upbeat part of the show.
Right.
It goes
Yeah.
down from this, folks. I'm tearing up
Get
here
ready.
thinking about my life. It goes down from this.
The spiral. It's the
Yeah.
spiral.
Last question. Eric Eli writes, "Dear Alan and Sherry, what is your favorite gun to shoot?" Okay, Sherry, don't answer
Hmm.
that. I
Oh.
now realize from all the questions about our pastimes and our hunting and our shooting, I think most of our audience are feds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Correct.
That's what this is.
Right.
Yeah. I've never shot a gun in my life. They're scary.
Right. You literally,
Yes.
literally could feel the murder in your veins.
Yeah. I have
You looked
PTSD
at it.
just
Right.
watching Rambo. Yeah. So so there you go. I'm on to
There you
you
go.
guys. We're going to be back with a somewhat less upbeat part of the show right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Your ad could be playing right now, reaching thousands of potential customers. Sadly, it's not, but it could be. Find out how to be an advertised sponsor for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Email us at info@alanmosley.tv. Boy, I hope you enjoyed that bumper music, guys, because buckle up. We're in for a good one now.
Mhm.
They are making good on their threats, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this first article. New York is firing 70,000 plus medical workers. You can see it right here. New York hospitals fire / suspend staff who refuse the COVID vaccine.
Mm.
This is one of those things where, like, we knew it was coming. They said that this is what they were going to do. And,
Right.
and that many medical professionals in the state of New York, just using this one place as an example, by the way, because this is not a limited
Right.
situation. They stood their ground and said, no, we're not going to be coerced into reporting things we don't want to report, getting treatments we don't want to get. And that's it. They're laid off. So that just made me want to go into, you're like, well, wait a minute. If the same people who say that this virus is so dangerous that
Mhm.
that there's no empty beds, the hospitals are packed with all the victims of this horrible disease, then it would seem like it would behoove them to not lay off 70,000 people
Right.
working in the medical profession.
They
But
really care.
But they have an idea of a way to get around that. On Saturday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
I don't know.
It's just the rapist who replaced the other rapist. I mean, let's just
Cunt. Yeah.
yeah. She said she was considering employing the National Guard and out-of-state medical workers to fill staffing shortages, with 16% of the state's 450,000 staff not fully vaccinated.
Jeez.
Just as a quick little aside on that, like the fact that that's their answer is that, so they're gonna go the military route. They're gonna go to the Guard, and they're gonna bring in anyone that has even a shred of medical training. They're gonna shove them in all the hospitals and clinics. That, to me, like, if you really wanted to be kind of on the nose with like your military junta fascist state, that's a bit more on the nose. Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to at least make it look like you're not a fascist
Exactly.
hellhole, but they're
Right.
actually okay with just wiping off the veneer at this point.
Exactly.
Um,
They don't care.
But it doesn't end there. As the soup Nazi from Seinfeld would say, no unemployment for you. Take a look at this. New York healthcare workers who are fired for refusing to be vaccinated won't be eligible for unemployment benefits in most cases. So
Jeez.
that actually brings up an interesting debate, and it's something that I know that we've talked about on the show before, and I know it's something that just kind of our community talks about a lot, which is, the debate between stupid and evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who have the conversation
Yeah.
of, is this person, are these people, is my neighbor, whoever, are they just ignorant? Do they just not know any better? Are they
Mm-hmm.
just, are they making bad policy decisions because they're stupid? And there's a lot of people in positions of authority in government who are pretty damn stupid. So I'm not saying we're ruling that one out,
Right.
but, or are they evil? Are
Mm-hmm.
they doing this? Is there malicious intent involved? Are they evil for doing what they do?
Right.
And I got to tell you, if if you're doing something with the explicit intent of bringing suffering to others, then that kind of settles it.
Right.
They're evil. And
Yeah.
so, you want to know how I know the end of society as we know it is fast approaching?
How's that?
Is that the people who are doing this, who are gleefully
Mm-hmm.
enforcing the state's will and enacting these policies and in enforcing these policies, because we've talked about before, like some dictate from on high really doesn't mean anything unless
Right.
there's teeth to enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are doing that, they're not just content to reject you or to disassociate from you because you're out of step with their personal preferences. That's not good
Right.
enough. They want they want you to feel the hurt. They
Mm-hmm.
want to harm you for the
Right.
decisions that you make. And the worst part about it is that those people are 100% convinced they're the good guys.
Right.
Like they're Luke Skywalker and not Darth Vader,
Right.
even though they're walking around in a giant cyborg black suit and breathing like this.
Right.
They think they're the good guy in this story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can fully convince that it's not like there was ever, they were just going to part ways amicably and say, well, you do what you're going to do. No, they have to make you pay for it, like you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It just so anyway, I also saw that there were some recent polls out that were talking about how between vaccinated and unvaccinated people, that vaccinated people were actually more afraid of contracting COVID-19 and then having some kind of serious medical episode than
Right.
people who are unvaccinated, which really kind of settles it that vaccines do cause autism. So,
Correct.
so I we got a whole other segment to talk about more of this after this, and so I want to save some of the lightning for then. But
Yeah.
I've been talking to a number of friends privately, people who I'm not going to share their details on the show,
Mhm.
and I was on Pete Canonez's show, Free Man Beyond the Wall, the other day, and we talked about this a little bit about people who they're they're up against the wall right now, that their employer is asking them to share their medical information to
Right.
register with them whether or not they've gotten vaccinated, or are mandating, just like for the medical professionals here in New York, are mandating, well, you have to get the jab by this date or else. And I think the Darth Vader analogy is a great one for this. There's that scene in Empire Strikes Back where Lando, because
Mhm.
Lando is a quisling, as David Letterman told Norm. He's a quisling. Lando was kind of in a tough spot, and so he goes along with the Empire and Darth Vader,
Right.
thinking, well, if I just do what they say, then it'll be okay, y'all.
Right.
And of course, how does that work out?
It's not.
It doesn't ever. That never works out.
Yeah.
That never.
No.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Robbie. So we're not going to go there again. That never works out. But Darth Vader decides, well, I'm going to have my cake and eat it too. And Lando says, well,
Mhm.
that wasn't the deal. And what does Darth
Right.
Vader say? He says, I'm altering the
Good
deal.
deal.
Pray that I
Brad.
don't author it any
Further.
further. Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening here. And
Mhm.
so, and I feel like this is going to be one of those goat trails where we touch on a lot of different topics, and then you say, but Alan, we're already 3.5 hours in. Let's
Right.
let's bring it back in. Um, but here's the thing: there's a lot of people that are noticing that now course, you had these exorbitant unemployment benefits. And a lot of people said, well, with all these unemployment benefits, people aren't going to go back to work. And I'm certain that contributed to it. Absolutely. And I'm not
Mhm.
getting into the economics of that. I'm just simply leaving that there. But we're also noticing in a lot of places where unemployment benefits have ended, a lot of places still can't find enough employees. Like like around here where I'm at. So Tennessee opted out of an federal unemployment benefits like
Uh-huh.
a few months ago at this point. And yet
Right.
all the stores are opening late and closing early. And,
Mhm.
like the restaurants are being run by 3 people, that sort of
Yes.
thing when they're normally run by 12. And
Mhm.
so people are not going back to work. And so then the question is, well, why is that? Why is it, well, they're not on the gravy train anymore. Why is it people aren't going back to work?
Mhm.
And how it ties into this, how it ties into these employers who are wanting to mandate these things, whether it's the state like New York or whether it's your private company, i.e.
Mhm.
fascism, because they're just enforcing the state's will. They're altering the deal. Because if you've been working somewhere for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I've talked to people that work for their employees for a decade or more, and they're telling me, Alan, I've been a good worker. I show up to work on time every day. I do a good job. I take
Mhm.
ownership in what I put my name on, which like if I was talking to the young people, I feel like that's maybe the most important thing to tell young people is to make it your own. Like be proud of what you're going to put your name on.
Yeah.
Um, and I've done that for these companies. And look how willing, if not even eager, they are to throw me away.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how a lot of these corporations are. And as a quick aside, by the way, libertarians in particular in capitalists really need to be careful because in so much that they really want to own the libs and smack down some communist, sometimes they find themselves carrying water for some of these megacorps. And I got to tell you, these corporations are not worthy of your defense. Like, why are you white knighting for Amazon or Walmart or somebody? Right? Like these people have some shady practices. They enjoy a lot of these people enjoy their place in the market, not in spite of government, but because of government.
Right.
If you or I own, Alan and Sherry's, well, I don't know what business do we own.
Metal.
Alan and Sherry's metal
Right.
electronics.
Right.
Alan and Sherry's metal electronics. Um, then our success would be in spite of the government. They're not going to
Right.
do us any favors. They're
Mhm.
doing all manner of favors for the cronies high enough up the totem pole that they
Yeah.
can that they can buy and curry those favors.
Mhm.
Um, And so you got to really be careful of carrying water for these people. And furthermore, these are exactly the companies who now are taking hardworking, dependable, dedicated employees. People have worked for them for years and years and years and saying, "Oh, you won't go along with my medical narrative? Well, you're fired. Get out of here.
Right.
You'll never work in this town again." And I feel bad for people who are going through that. And the way that ties into the whole thing about the unemployment benefits ending and people still not going back to work is that maybe and by the way, this isn't a defense of UBI. Like, I'm not saying the government should just print and steal more money and hand it off to these
Right.
people. But what I'm saying is that maybe people are not willing to go back to jobs where they were treated like shit. Maybe they're not willing to go back to jobs where they were belittled and talked down to and made to feel worthless. And and now people who that are higher up the economic totem pole who worked better jobs than just flipping burgers somewhere. Now some of those people are faced with losing their job because it's a matter, do I want my job or do I want to stand up for myself? And they're
Mhm.
finding that they are no more valuable employees to those big corporations than the burger flipper was to McDonald's. They're in the exact
Yeah.
same boat now. And so I guess what I'm saying is that the kinder, gentler Alan, that's now a year older and wiser, is saying, maybe you should have some empathy for people
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe the answer isn't the boomer con. Oh, you need money? Well, just go get a job. I saw Hardee's is hiring.
Right.
What a shallow statement that is. Because you don't want that job. You don't want to have to put up with what it takes to do that job and for people to just berate you and browbeat you, including your own supervisors and managers every minute of every day. And so now we come full circle to people having to make some really tough choices.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm looking at the timer over there on the clock, I think what I'm going to say is we're going to talk about some tough choices right after this commercial break. Don't go away.
If you're enjoying tonight's show, consider supporting the program by becoming a member of our Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/Alan Mosley.
Huh.
Damn.
How's that?
That was pretty good.
Yay.
If anything, it might have been like 0.01 seconds early, but you know.
I mean, at this point, I'm just guessing. It's just throwing it out there.
Are you in the room right now? Or just... All right. So let's kind of look at the other side of the spectrum a little bit. So you've got people who will say things, I've got kids to feed.
Mm-hmm.
I've got bills to pay.
Right.
And that's their excuse for just complying, for just doing what they're told. And I know I just talked about being sympathetic and now I'm not going to be, but I want you to be sympathetic. I'm going to be the agent of chaos. You're going to be sympathetic. It's true. Your kids have got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not just feeding them.
Right.
You're also raising them. And you're also providing an example for them to live by. You're trying to instill in them your values and your principles. And what sort of example are you setting by just giving in to tyranny versus the example that you would be setting by standing up for yourself, for standing up for what you believe in? But I feel like that's too deep of a statement. Don't even think of it as standing up for what you believe. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
That's something that we teach kids, right? When they're little, is you got to stand up for yourself. Well, this is how you teach them. You got to stand up for yourself. Compliance never got anyone out of oppression. We've talked about that several times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you wore the mask because they told you it was only going to be 2 weeks, and now over a year and a half later, it's your fault for the new normal because you put the mask on. If you got the jab and you carry your papers around with you, here's my pass. And the reason why you did it, Robbie, is because you hate the mask. So that's why I did it, because I hate the mask more. And now today you're having to put your mask back on. See how that worked out. Now today you're having to put your mask back on, and you're having to schedule yourself for your endless booster shots. It's your fault. You did this. If you report your private medical information to your employer, that's not going to mean that's the end of the story and you just show up to work on Monday.
Right.
That's going to mean that that's going to mean following their medical guidance from here on out. They're going to have more questions and more questions. And if you give the wrong answer, they're going to tell you you have to correct it as a condition of employment. And don't think for a second that you'll say, this is for the birds. I'll just go collect a few unemployment checks while I shop around. No. They'll go after that too. We're already seeing it.
Right.
The minute that you stop, let's say you go along with it this time or next time, or next time. Maybe there's a third booster or a fourth booster. When the fifth one and the sixth one and the seventh one comes along, whichever one it is that you finally put your foot down and you say, that's enough, I'm not going to take it anymore, they'll just fire you then instead of now.
Right.
And they're not going to take an ounce of your character or your skills or your hard work ethic, or your dedication into consideration. They don't give a damn about you. You're going to do what they say, or else.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand that if you give them an inch, you will never, ever, ever get it back. But hell, by the time it even dawns on you to regret your decision, they've already moved on.
Right.
They're on to the next ask
Mm-hmm.
in quotation marks when they asked you to
Right.
get something. Yeah. So don't comply.
Yeah.
Don't just roll over because you've got bills to pay or mouths to feed. Because you shouldn't be thinking about what you're providing them today.
Mm-hmm.
You should be thinking about the world you're leaving them tomorrow.
Yep. So well said. Like, and you have to wonder, like, maybe this is how we got here in the first place, is that so many American parents decided that they were going to have the bigger house and more cars and two incomes rather than caring about those other character things and building kids who will hold the line on something and care about something more than the stuff that they can get.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why it made me think this, but it made me think about the Constitution stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of people will say that there's nothing wrong with the Constitution. The problem is that people didn't enforce it. We the people didn't uphold the Constitution. We
Mm-hmm.
allowed these things to happen. And you know what? This is one of those times.
Mm-hmm.
It was moments like this sprinkled, I mean, hell, from day one, right? I mean, from the very beginning all the way. It was moments like this. We don't have time to do another episode, so this isn't a history episode, but
Mm-hmm.
it's moments like these that ultimately determined if the world would be a little bit more free or a little bit less free tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And in so much as the boomer cons may be right, that is how a constitution is supposed to work, and that is what went wrong. It went wrong because people exactly like us were in positions exactly like this, and they took the easy way out.
Right.
And here we are.
Here we are. We're watching the slippery slope play out, arguments play out in real time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single one of them.
And, and I got to be honest with you, even after having said all that, I'm really torn because I know that there's people out there right now that, like, this is the conversation they're having at the dinner table. It's, well, do I just do it? I don't really want to do it. Do I lie? Do I try to buy myself some time? Do I try to find another job? What are we going to do if the economy tanks? What are we going to do if the air conditioning goes out? What are we going to do if the car breaks down? And it's tough. And the people out there who, like, you and I joke, but we joke because you and I like to joke about things that happen in real life. There's people out there that say, well, just make more money, dude. If you were just richer, you wouldn't be having these problems. Like, oh,
right.
Boy.
Yeah. I love that argument.
Yeah.
Just be rich.
Yeah. Just build a replicator from Star Trek, and then you won't have to worry about your grocery bills. Just have a replicator.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And, I started my show. Episode 1 of this show was September 2017. And kind of hearkening back to the monologue, after episode 1, I went down to the Tom Woods 1000th. And so we didn't have an episode for like a month. But that's when the show started. And a lot of people who have met me since then and know me through this window we're talking through right now, they don't know anything about who I was before like September 1st, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I was somebody who I went to school and then I dropped out with student loan debt but no degree because I was like, what the hell am I doing here? This is just an expensive hotel. I've been there.
Yeah.
And I opened a business and I ran a business for 6 years. I basically blew my 20s out running a business, but that didn't last forever. I wasn't the next Elon Musk. I didn't have enough favors from Washington, so that's the end of that. And I even went back to school and got a degree, but in many of the years between then and now, I polished up my resume, put my little fancy diploma there, wrote a little cover letter, have my little portfolio of the things I've written and worked on. That didn't do me a goddamn bit of good. I know you know this, and right now you guys can't see Sherry, but Sherry is off screen looking like, oh shit, here we go.
I know what is coming here.
And so I sympathize with people, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that are in this position because they're thinking, well, shit, I'm going to end up like Alan. I'm going to have a libertarian podcast and then kill myself. That's what's going to happen.
In the Fed.
Yeah, we're all going to go in the Fed. And so on the one hand, it's like, who am I to tell these folks? You know what you should do? You should just not have anything like me. Just be broke and have principles. That's what you should do. So it's like, who am I to tell other people that? But I guess again, as I've gotten older, it's become less arguing about what you should do for you right now. And it's more become, but you got to think about tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And that doesn't just mean therefore comply so I can pay rent next month. I'm talking more about, but where is your line? We've done a whole segment on that before, drawing your line in the sand. Where is your line? Do you have one? If you do have one and this isn't it, what is it? And then if you comply today and tomorrow is the day that they find your line, what then?
Right.
What will that subservience have bought you when they finally reach the button to push that you can't take? What will you have gotten out of it?
Yep.
They're evil.
Yes.
These are evil people, and I fear that there's no coming back from this one. I genuinely predict things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. I'm sad to say that. I know, you know me, I always love to end things on a high note, but I genuinely think things are going to get a lot worse before they get better, because I think we have entered into a time where the most evil people with the most power and influence on this world, they are not interested in letting bygones be bygones. They're not interested in saying, well, sir, good day to you. I will go over here and run my business with 17 booster shots, and you go over there and die of the plague. That
Right.
isn't even good enough for them.
Right.
They want you to suffer because you
Yes.
said no.
Yeah.
They
really are building two classes of people.
They don't want that because you didn't get vaccinated. They want that for you because you said no.
Yes.
Well, you know what that makes people like me want to do? No.
No,
No.
we're not doing it.
Not
Yeah,
gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been underemployed and broke this long.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Look, like I'm Bane from Batman if I was unemployed. Like, look, I was born in this. I've been molded by it.
Molded by it.
You only adopted the unemployment.
Gotta pump those numbers, bro.
Yeah. Well, that certainly was a show.
Yeah, there you have it.
We better take our final commercial break so I can go cry silent tears.
Yes. Yes.
All right. We're going to be right back after this. Hi guys, it's Alan here, and I want to take a moment to let you know about one of our supporters who started a new business. Laura Moreau sells 50 different health and wellness all-natural products, from weight loss, supplements, energy enhancers, body toning, longer and stronger hair, and so much more. Do you like coffee? Well, they even have coffee that'll help you drop some pounds. And who doesn't want to drop a few pounds? Go check her out at her online store at lauramoreau.itworks.com today. That's lauramoreau.itworks.com. Like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/AlanMosleyTV. You can follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/AlanMosleyTV. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/AlanMosleyTV. Also, don't forget, we're now on Odyssey, so go support a platform that protects your free speech. Don't just complain about it. We're on Odyssey. It's odyssey.com/AlanMosleyTV. Also, if you're more of a listener than a watcher, you can get us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, thanks to Anchor FM and anchor.fm/AlanMosleyTV. Well, I wish Ross Ulbricht was here. I need to hire some assassins.
Wow.
You know, you want to know how I know that Ross Ulbricht didn't have anything to do with any murder for hire bullshit?
How's that?
Because a real libertarian would have had that stuff behind a paywall. You got to sign up for Silk Road Premium Plus at $19.99 a month to get the assassins.
That's great.
Sherry, do you have a final thought?
Yeah. Stand for something and leave a legacy of liberty. Be concerned about the legacy you're leaving to your kids and grandkids.
They say you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
That's how you can tell we're in the South, because we don't listen to country, but we know that.
Now we're going to get DMCA'd by YouTube because we were singing copyrighted material on the show. Guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of It's Too Late, and we will see you next week.